Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on tonight's main news. Let's look at the top stories. Abductors of 13 women plead guilty. SEC sheds light on alleged misappropriated 65 million kwacha. Government urged to engage independent auditors to review CDF performance. In international headlines, Ivorian citizens lead fight against plastic pollution, and in sports, CHIPOLOPOLO coach AVRAM grant calls for commitment among players. We have details of these headlines shortly after this message.
On National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest.
And the people that have got the passion and desire are equipped with something. They shouldn't be doing mining like Valeli Makandolo. You know, those people have got the capacity to turn around our economy. These same people that we look down on. We don't have to always be rushing for investors.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a dent with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rainglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for joining us to present the news. My name is Louisia Nalupumbwe. Some residents of Lusaka say the ban on the sale of alcohol in undesignated places such as residential areas will help in reducing community crimes that come as a result of alcohol abuse in Zambia. Speaking to Camnet News, Perpetual Zimba, a resident of Lusaka's Kabanana compound, notes that the mushrooming of bars in undesignated places has resulted in increased alcohol abuse, which also often results in illicit sexual activities and unwanted pregnancies. The residents were reacting to the 7-day ultimatum given by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for all illegal sale of alcohol to be stopped in line with the Liquor Licensing Act number 20 of 2011. We have details in this report.
The mushrooming of bars in undesignated areas in Zambia, as well as the vending of alcohol, has continued to be a thorn for most citizens and has been cited as one of the major reasons for many school-going children dropping out, increased crime in communities, and the rise in teenage pregnancies. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, in a recent communique, gave a 7-day ultimatum for compliance, urging local authorities to close in on those engaging in the illegal sale of alcohol. With the lapse of the 7-day ultimatum coming closer on 7th June 2023, some Lusaka residents have called on the local authorities not to hesitate, but to move in and curb the vice, stating that it has become a nuisance.
Solo mwana wa skulu olobana ba skulu sibapuzira bwino bena ngwana mukapa manyumba twaenda ku skulu aenda chini mweko first tumoba paji aenda mu class bajicho apunzisa achita chabe behavior inangu kansinyishamu so yeve chabe bwino bangasebenzere shiba chitabwino bana ngatoka ba uniform akamadenda ku skulu but apezeka majunta ya mina sometimes enda mu class no kole wando atenda punzia ndo cha confuse wanzake chifa cha kola kwakaenda mbana na waticha so yo baramo ba mabama komboni it's no mu kwa basi funika mkomboni ifika zingana ma place ama bacha bega hika noti bali pakati pa manyumba bazimayo kanga kupyanga kuseni madiziano ni mmoja.
Meanwhile, Serenity Harm Reduction Program Zambia Executive Clinical Director Philip Chimponde knows that the illegal sale of alcohol has also contributed to noise pollution, gender-based violence cases in homes, and underage drinking.
So in Zambia, alcohol is sold like sweets everywhere. And this is the reason why it has to be regulated. And this time is the right time for the government to take up the baton and make sure that sanity is restored in our community. If you look at what this has brought about, we've seen that actually, first of all, as I mentioned, selling this alcohol in undesignated places is always an offense. And if you are found, you can be arrested, prosecuted, pay a fine, or you can face imprisonment. That's the first thing. And also, vendors make alcohol readily available for consumption without taking into consideration the regulation. For example, we know that if you are selling alcohol, there is the opening and closing. But when you are a vendor, you don't open and you don't close. It's always available. As long as people have the money and they are willing to purchase, you always be there.
Upon the lapse of the ultimatum, all those selling alcohol in residential areas, bus stations, markets, and on the streets are expected to be stopped. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A second-year University of Zambia student has narrated to Camnet TV News how he was forced to withdraw from university after the Lusaka City Council LCC failed to pay his family his late father's terminal benefits. In an interview, Boyd Mwape says his father died in 2020 and that ever since his family has been pushing to have his late father's benefits paid to the family, but that the local authority keeps giving excuses that it only has resources to pay salaries for the serving workers. He has since pleaded with the Ministry of Local Government to help facilitate the paying of terminal benefits to the families of those who have passed on. We have details in this report.
The blazing sound of welding machines is what this young man of Lusaka's Kabanana area has now been exposed to instead of the thug sound from a computer. Boyd Mwape, not his real name, is a dropout second-year student from the University of Zambia who was pursuing a bachelor's in computer science but was forced to quit school following the death of his father in 2020. According to Mr. Mwape, his father was a general worker at the Lusaka City Council under the Housing Department where he served for 28 years, but that following his death, the family has been trying to claim his father's benefits, but that all efforts have failed, which has contributed to him dropping out of school.
Admitted to UNZA to study computer science under extension studies. And I was doing computer science. So 2020 my dad passed on. He was working under the Lusaka City Council in the Housing Department, general worker. He had worked for 28 years, but since he died, we have been pushing for the terminal benefits. And up to now, we haven't received any. It's now 3 years.
He has since pleaded with the Minister of Local Government, Garin Kombo, to also consider paying benefits to those whose family members have passed on through the resources that he is asking from the Secretary to Cabinet.
I could not afford tuition, and there was no one to pay for me, so I had to find other means of surviving and also supporting my family. Hence, I started doing metal fabrication and carpentry, which is also not enough to support my family because business is hard now. Finding a customer is difficult, so we are pleading with the Lusaka City Council to consider us paying us terminal benefits. Mom was doing a small business, but now she closed because she could not keep up with the bills, and here myself supporting her.
The announcement by the President, Hakainde Hichilema, that government has paid terminal benefits to all retirees and those who were owed by government has also contributed to making life difficult for this young man.
As administrator, the President announced to say the government is paying off all retirees, and my family thought I had gotten a share of my dad's terminal benefits from because of the announcement that was made. So they started inciting that they should take me to court because they thought I was hiding money from dad's terminal benefits.
His story is just among the few captured from many families who are suffering due to failure by the local authority to remit the NAPSA contributions of most of its workers. For this family, their hope now lies in the relevant authorities, such as the Minister of Local Government, who should compel the local authority to pay the benefits to families of employees who have passed on and those who have retired. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, police in Lusaka have arrested Christopher Siame, a general worker at the Lusaka City Council, for conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. Police spokesperson Reha Monga has confirmed to Camnet News and says Mr. Siame was arrested Monday morning by police officers working at the Civic Center who handed him over to KWACHA police station where he is detained. He says the suspect tries to close the gate to the offices of the local authority, demanding that he paid his salaries when he was picked by police officers. Last week, some council employees downed tools demanding that they be paid their 2 months' salary arrears owed to them by the local authority. And now the workers vowed not to return to work until they are paid their arrears. However, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo, assured that his ministry has written to the Secretary to Cabinet asking him to lend the ministry resources and says that once the funds have been made available, their arrears will be settled. The United Prosperous and Peace Zambia UPPZ party has advised the United Party for National Development UPND administration to engage independent auditors who will give a real reflection of how the Constituency Development Fund CDF is performing on the ground before seeking to increase it further. Speaking to Camnet News, UPPZ Secretary General Kwendelani Sakala says the party has taken note of the UPND's desire to increase CDF from 28.3 million kwacha to 57 million kwacha with the help of cooperating partners. He, however, states that some constituencies have been crawling and have had challenges to utilize the available resources, adding that increasing the funds may not be ideal given the status quo in many areas. Details are in this report.
The ruling United Party for National Development UPND has come strong on using Constituency Development Fund CDF to ensure equal distribution of development across the country. In this regard, the ruling party has continued to express interest in increasing this fund from 25.7 million kwacha in 2022, 28.3 million kwacha in 2023, and a recent call from President Hakainde Hichilema for cooperating partners to help Zambia in reaching its goal of 57 million kwacha for each constituency. The opposition United Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia UPPZ, through its Secretary General Kondwelani Sakala, while noting this to be a good desire, says there is need for performance audits of CDF so far.
We will not rush into putting in money that is meant for people to get away with it, to steal it. We will not support that. We want every coin of CDF to be accounted for. In fact, we need to invite independent people that will make sure, calculate, count, audit these monies that has been distributed in all the constituencies. Then we'll be talking about the increase or where the money is not working or where it is the shortfall. So for now, rushing to increase it, it will not be a good idea because those monies may end up into the hands of the wrong people, like we think right now. That's why we are calling for an audit for all the constituency development funds, whether the funds have gone into the right use.
Meanwhile, the UPPZ Secretary General has also called for policies that will reduce the cost of living in Zambia.
But the people working under him, do they still have that heartbeat to see that the people that are under there in the constituencies, in the wards, are receiving the implementation of the policies? So the issue now comes back to the leadership. We need to deal with the people first that implement these policies. Policies may be good, But the people that have been implementing those policies have not taken the good direction about them. And if those things that we have been doing over the years have not given us results, it's high time we change the system, in short, on how the recipients of these developments or empowerments come through.
He says it is time for the UPND to also assess policies and work on those that are being poorly implemented while doing away with those that have yielded no results. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Anti-Corruption Commission SEC Board Chairperson Musa Mwenya says he has never seen 65 million kwacha in his eyes and has questioned the legitimacy of the letter circulating purporting that the Commission misappropriated funds which it got from Faith Musonda. Addressing the press in Lusaka Monday, Mr. Mwenya says SEC handed over the resources to the Ministry of Finance in March last year and that there is no way it can misappropriate resources it has no custody over. He says the Commission has never been in receipt of any information from the Auditor General's office alleging that the 65 million kwacha is missing. The Commissioner, however, says whether the money reached Control 99 at the Ministry of Finance can only be confirmed by the said ministry. More in this report.
The Anti-Corruption Commission, Zambia's corruption investigative wing, has now been implicated in being involved in misappropriating 65 million kwacha forfeited funds from Faith Musonda in 2021. In a leaked document alleged to have been written by the Auditor General's office, the said 65 million kwacha never hit the Ministry of Finance, Control 99, despite SEC at a meeting in February of 2022 indicating that it had given the money to the Ministry of Finance. SEC Board Chairperson Musa Mwenya, who addressed the media Monday morning, has however denied ever seeing 65 million kwacha in his eyes and could not have misappropriated resources he has never seen.
Never seen 65 million in my life. So I can tell you that that money was handed over. We support the work of the Auditor General and we would not want to see a day when that important institution will be deployed to fight personal legal battles of any of its officers. Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us. We will not address the document that is circulating on social media in its details, but suffice to say that it contains a lot of inaccuracies and details that appear tailored to deliberately embarrass the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Mr. Mwenya, however, says the 65 million kwacha was handed over to the Ministry of Finance in March last year and has questioned the authenticity of the said letter, considering the fact that it never reached his office.
All of you members of the press attended a media briefing and a handover ceremony on the 23rd of February 2022, at which the Anti-Corruption Commission handed over a check for the sum of 65,333,046 kwacha to the Honorable Minister of Finance.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Finance, when contacted, says it issued an instruction to the Anti-Corruption Commission on 25th February 2022 in which SEC was requested to transfer the said funds to Control 99 at the Bank of Zambia for the Zambian kwacha deposits and the United States dollar deposits. The ministry says the SEC transferred the funds on 3rd March 2022, which was subsequently given to the Higher Education Loans and Scholarship Board through the Ministry of Education in equal amounts between March 2022 and December 2023 to KWACHA for 2,780 students. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Community Action Against Corruption has challenged the Anti-Corruption Commission, Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Education to provide evidence and documentation of how the 65 million kwacha confiscated from Faith Msonda was disbursed to the beneficiaries. The organization's chief executive officer has hailed the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, for responding to media reports that 65 million confiscated from Faith Msonda has gone missing, but that responding by word of mouth without documented reports does not erase speculations. Brighton Tembo says it will be difficult for people to believe the verbal explanation by ACC that money was used for what it was publicly declared it will be used for. He said the leaked letter, whether fake or genuine, needs to be responded to with sufficient documented evidence of how the money was transferred, withdrawn, and disbursed to beneficiaries.
I feel it was going to be far much better if the Anti-Corruption Commission had responded to the allegations that the 65 million kwacha confiscated from Faith Msonda has gone missing by availing documented evidence to the members of the public through the media concerning how that money was transferred from ACC to Ministry of Finance, and from Ministry of Finance to Ministry of Education and up to the beneficiaries. There must be documented evidence showing how this money moved from all the people who are involved in up to the disbursement of the funds to the students. Unlike a situation where the commission has just said money was transferred, yes, it may be convincing to some people, but others will dispute that fact still.
Transparency International Zambia, TIZ, stands in solidarity with the conservationist civil society, host communities, and citizens who have expressed concerns over the proposed mining project and called for no mining in the Lower Zambezi National Park. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe says considering the decision by the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZIMA, to hold and suspend mining operations by serving the mining company with a compliance order is not tantamount to revocation or cancelling of the mining license. Mr. Nyambe said the revocation or cancelling of the mining license can only be issued by the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Development. He says according to the Mines and Minerals Development Act of 2015, the Director of Mines, Safety or Director of Mines may direct a holder of a mining right or mineral processing license to suspend or curtail production or close the mine or a section of the mine for reasons cited in the Act.
We have very keenly followed developments that have taken place and continue to take place with regards to the mining in the Lower Zambezi National Park. And of course, we do support ZEMA's decision to halt mining operations in the area. But we think that there is a lot more that can be done in terms of this particular issue. I think part of the concern that has been raised is that this is actually not a complete cessation of mining activities in the park. Which is what concerns stakeholders such as civil society, conservationists, and even local communities have actually been raising. The contestation, of course, with regard to this particular issue, stems from the manner in which government issued the mining license, as well as the accompanying permits for the mining project. The way this was done really cast the mining project with mistrust and in very bad light. But beyond that, I think we have some very genuine concerns and reservations about the impact that mining activities would have on the system within the Lower Zambezi National Park. So with that in mind, our call continues to be that this project should be completely done away with, and we think that merely suspending operations of the mining company in that area really does not suffice, and we think that what would be more effective would actually be to just cease operations altogether, because we don't think that there should be any mining activity happening within the Lower Zambezi National Park for the reasons that we have highlighted.
And in courts news, 2 men alleged to have abducted 13 women in 2022 have pleaded guilty to 54 counts of offences of attempted abduction, aggravated assault, abduction, and many other charges. James Walia and Matthews Skaonga will appear before Judge Kafunda for presentations of facts on 8th of June 2023. We have details in the following report.
It was in total silence as 2 men alleged to have abducted 13 girls in Lusaka's Chalala area between January and October last year 2022 took plea. James William Lenga, 23, and Matthew Sikaonga, 22, pleaded guilty to all 54 counts of rape, abduction, aggravated assault with intent to steal, causing grievous harm, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, among other offences leveled against them which are contrary to the laws of Zambia. The duo, who were arrested on 4th October 2022, appeared before presiding judge Charles Kafunda for scheduled plea at Lusaka High Court. Prior to the plea by the accused, the state applied to amend the information relating to the complainants. In the application, they asked the court to substitute the name of the complainants with their alphabetical initials so as to protect their private lives. In passing a ruling, presiding judge Charles Kafunda ruled that the names be substituted with the complainants' alphabetical initials so as to protect their private lives as per the provisions of the Child Code Act No. 12 of 2022, which seeks to protect children under the age of 18. Judge Kafunda has since adjourned the matter to Thursday, 8th June 2023 for presentation of facts. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Lusaka Magistrate Court Irene Wishimanga has advised the state to adequately prepare when making an appearance before courts so as to avoid wasting the court's and accused time. This came to light when the matter involving former Foreign Affairs Minister Joe Malanji and former Secretary to the Treasury Fred Sonyamba failed to take off as the state failed to avail a witness before the courts. This is in a matter where Mr. Malanji is charged with 8 counts of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime, while Mr. Yamba is facing 2 counts of willful failure to comply with applicable law contrary to the laws of Zambia. We have details in this report.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court has adjourned former Foreign Affairs Minister Joe Malanji and former Secretary to the Treasury Fred Sonyamba's case after the state failed to avail a witness. This is in a matter where former Secretary to the Treasury Fred Sonyamba and former Foreign Affairs Minister are facing 10 counts of possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. Mr. Yamba is accused of having failed to follow procedure in relation to the buying of an estate in Turkey, and Malanji is accused of being in possession of a hotel and helicopters reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. Mr. Yamba is charged with 2 counts of willful failure to comply with applicable law, while Mr. Malanji is charged with 8 counts of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. In the first count, it is alleged that Mr. Yamba, on dates unknown but between January 1st, 2020 and August 31st, 2021 in Lusaka, being Secretary to the Treasury, jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown, allocated and authorized the transfer of 108,401,197 kwacha to the Zambia Mission account in Turkey for the procurement of a real estate without following the law. In count 3 to 10, Mr. Malanji is alleged to have possessed a Bell 430 helicopter, a Bell 206 Jet Ranger helicopter, and Gibson Royal Hotel properties suspected of being proceeds of crime. But when the matter came up for continuation of trial today, 5th June 2023, Monday, the state applied to the court to have the case adjourned. The state claimed that they had arranged for one witness who later on called to let them know that she was not going to be available for trial today due to personal reasons. The state further explained that they made follow-ups this morning which proved futile. Meanwhile, defense lawyer Makebi Zulu expressed regret that the case failed to take off. In granting the state's application, Magistrate Irene Manga, who is sitting under the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, explained that it is unacceptable that the state prepared one witness. She advises the state to prepare even 3 witnesses in future in order to save the court's time and that of the accused. The matter has been adjourned to 9th June 2023 for continuation of trial. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Thank you, Nelson, for those reports. Just now, we take our first set of commercials. When we get back, we have more local stories to join us after the break.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, my dear. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
On National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest.
And the people that have got the passion and desire are equipped with something. They shouldn't be doing mining like Vadeli Makandolo. You know, those people have got the capacity to turn around the economy. These same people that we look down on. We don't have to always be rushing for investors.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensure a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Chance for Change Foundation had implored farmers to take an interest in crop diversification to maximize revenue generation and contribute to national economic development. The organization has been conducting training sessions for farmers in chili cultivation, with the recent one being last week in Kasenga village of Chongwe district, Lusaka. The training that was held in partnership with Remnant Farmers saw the training of 167 farmers as outgrowers in the cultivation of African bird's eye chili. Details are in this report.
There is no doubt that agriculture is a key economic driver, and if the United Party for National Development Administration injects a political will, the aspiration to feed the region and beyond will come to fruition. However, maize continues to grab all the attention at the expense of other equally important cash crops such as chili, onion, and garlic, thus undermining the diversification agenda. The Chance for Change Foundation, in partnership with the Remnant Farmers, trained 167 farmers in chili cultivation, with the recent one being last week in Kasenga village of Chongwe district in Lusaka. Chance for Change representative Wakunuma Lushomwa says the training focused on the cultivation of African bird-eye chili.
As a Chance for Change Foundation, we are here to train the farmers on this very new project that we have on board, which is the Chili Outgrower Project. This is a project that we are launching this year, and therefore we are here to train these farmers who are here on how they can grow this chili, starting from the nursery, how to transplant, all the way up to the harvest. So basically, that's why we are here.
The African eye chili is a variable crop known for its high market demand and potential profitability.
We came to witness and interact with our farmers that are on the outdoor project for the chili that we are doing. So basically we are the buyers that are buying the chili from the farmers, and then we want to ensure that they meet up the standards that we require for the product. So
Aston Musakabantu is a representative of the Ministry of Agriculture in the area. He is happy that farmers are being empowered to look beyond maize.
We have this farm here because we're going to see our farmers adopting this, and I'm sure we're going to see an increase in the production of these crops that are going to bring this year. The Ministry of Agriculture is going to be distributing inputs using the e-system, where farmers will have a variety of inputs to choose from. We'll be looking forward to seeing that a good number of our farmers are going to adopt this as one of the ways they're going to increase their production. The production and productivity of our farmers very much rely on good examples of this.
And the participants say they have learned best practices for cultivating the African bed eye chili.
Ndineokondwera ngako napunzira zambiri kaidi zamene napunzira kuno nzaenda uzako na vanzanga vamene vasala kunyumba, vanzanga kumachechi, vanzanga kumaskulu, vanzanga va healthy, vanzanga kwamene nachokera ku Northwestern. Nifuna uulimi uende pasogolo, nifuna ziko ya Zambia iende pasogolo.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The Cotton Board of Zambia has welcomed the move by Cabinet to approve in principle to introduce a bill in Parliament to amend the Cotton Act of 2005. The board is hopeful that once the Cotton Act of 2005 is amended, it will enhance regulation of the cotton industry in the country. Board Executive Director Sunduzwayo Banda says the bill will also deal with some gaps in the sector and create an equal framework for all cotton players. Mr. Banda has explained that amending the act will address of the challenges leading to low cotton production due to poor quality seed and low pricing. Last week, Cabinet approved in principle to introduce a bill in Parliament to amend the Cotton Act No. 21 of 2005 in order to enhance the regulation of the cotton industry in the country. Cabinet has approved in principle to introduce a bill in Parliament to amend the Cotton Act of 2005 in order to enhance the regulation of the cotton industry in the country. The bill also seeks to introduce sufficient provisions for the regulation of the entire cotton value chain in line with international best practices.
This is something that we've been pushing for years now. For those that might not know, we started this in 2015. So to get this current government to give us approval in principle, to go ahead and prepare a bill for presentation in Parliament is a good thing. Our farmers have been crying. I'm sure you're aware that we have had issues to do with pricing, productivity. We also have issues around seed quality control. We've got a few issues around the way we are buying our cotton, the quality of the chemicals our farmers have been given, especially issues to do with the pricing of cotton. You might be aware, like this year, the current price is around 6 kwacha. Last year it was 15 kwacha. So if we had a forum where price could be negotiated, maybe this wouldn't be the case. So yes, maybe this is coming at the right time because our farmers feel neglected in the sector. But we also want to give kudos to the cotton companies. These guys are investing way over $8 million every year into the field. And agriculture support in terms of agriculture financing is a risky business. So they come to the country as investors, they invest quite a lot of money. They're also worried about the investment. They want assurance on returns of the investment. So what we can do to protect them, both the farmer and the cotton companies, is to ensure that we have a win-win situation. How do we do that? Let's have a legal framework that is conducive for all. And currently the environment is good, yes, but we have a few lacunas here and there. So maybe this will be an opportunity to straighten the lacunas that we have within our sector.
A clergyman has observed that the Copperbelt province is breeding poverty, high unemployment levels and high cost of living because of the continuous delay by the government to resolve the Konkwela copper mines and Mopani operational challenges. Pastor Charles Chilesha from Kitwe on the Copper Belt has called on President Hakainde Hichilema to prioritize addressing the Konkwela copper mines KCM and Mopani copper mines operational challenges in the second quarter of 2023. Pastor Chilesha says in this quarter, the government should expeditiously conclude negotiations with Vedanta Resources so that the mine can begin to operate optimally.
Actually now appeal to His Excellency, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, again to prioritize resolving issues in this particular June, which is the last month of the second quarter of the year 2023. They promised us the first quarter that we are going to resolve these issues. Up to now, we have been living with promissory notes with nothing substantial to substantiate their promises. The Copperbelt province is festering and breeding with poverty, high unemployment, and high levels of cost of living, as well as because of such challenges and the continued delay by the government to resolve such issues on concerning Mopani as well as KCM, we will soon, if these issues are not settled on the Copper Belt, I'm not a prophet of doom, but we may likely experience high crime rate on the Copper Belt due to unemployment and prostitution, as well as probably divorces, street kids. A lot of issues may be ongoing on the Copper Belt, theft because of such problems. We call upon His Excellency to prioritize addressing the KCM and Mopani copper mines operational challenges.
Now, according to the UNICEF, Abidjan produces over 288 tons of waste each day. We have more on these stories coming shortly in international news after this message.
On National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest.
And the people that have got the passion and desire are equipped with something. They shouldn't be doing mining like Badeli Makandolo. Those people have got the capacity to turn around our economy. These same people that we look down on. We don't have to always be rushing for investors.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make that with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impassioned news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Welcome back in international news. According to the UNICEF, Abidjan produces over 288 tons of waste each day. However, waste collection remains one of the city's weak spots. 5th June 2023, the global community commemorates World Environment Day. Here is a roundup of international news.
Searching for plastic. Young volunteers are busy collecting used bottles. They are often discarded in the vast Abriel Lagoon, which abuts Ivory Coast economic capital Abidjan. The citizens' initiative started 2 years ago when Charles Gorebi decided to act against the scourge of plastic pollution. Quite simply, the idea of cleaning up the shoreline came from the need to clean up the environment in which I live. I'm here all the time, and the garbage comes in all the time as well. So I decided to start by cleaning up where I lived. Garibi's efforts progressively gained notice, and the Plateau-based City Council met with the youth committed to collecting waste and connected them with recycling companies. If the activity enables them to gain some money, they cannot live off of that. Once we started earning some money through this, it got us motivated. We started loving it because it keeps you fed, as we say around here. According to the UNICEF, Abidjan produces over 288 tons of waste each year. However, waste collection remains one of the city's weak spots. In a bid to shake things up, Reciplast founder set up 50 waste collection points and pays residents who sort their trash for recycling. 20 kilograms of plastic are sold for a little over $1.50. We do promote and communicate. We raise awareness on the use and reduction of plastic, but we also reward the eco-citizen action. That is to say, the waste they manage to pre-select, to sort. When they come to our collection points, we buy this plastic waste. Some of the used bottles turned into plastic chips will be sold to industrials. Reciplast will use the other part to build street or school furniture.
Israel buried on Sunday 3 soldiers killed in an exchange of fire at its usually secure border with Egypt. In his weekly cabinet meeting in Jerusalem, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the incident would be thoroughly investigated. We will draw all the necessary conclusions regarding our actions along the fence on the southern border, on the Israel-Egypt border. This fence that was built in 2013 stopped the flood of illegal infiltrators into Israel. However, smuggling is still happening, and there are also attempts from time to time by terrorists to cross the fence and harm our forces. We will revisit the procedures, methods of operation and measures in order to minimize smuggling and ensure that such tragic attacks will not happen again. In recent years, there have been exchanges of fire between smugglers and Israeli soldiers stationed along the border. The border between the two countries is generally calm, but has been the scene of regular smuggling attempts. Calm has returned to the streets of Senegal's capital, Dakar, following 72 hours of violence. Clashes erupted on Thursday in the wake of the sentencing of opposition leader Ousmane Sonko to 2 years in jail. The security forces were faced with violent demonstrators who were not seeking to express opinions, but rather were engaged in subversive activities. The people apprehended during these events are mainly armed and dangerous individuals. Most of those arrested were in possession of Molotov cocktails, knives and large-caliber firearms. Supporters of Sonko and President Macky Sall have traded blame for the violence and deaths. The violence resulted in at least 16 deaths and more than 350 wounded. Sonko was not present at his trial and is yet to be taken into custody for his jail term, which is predicted to stoke further tensions.
That is all the news in international news. Time now for sports news. CHIPOLOPOLO coach AVRAM Grant has called for commitment and hard work if Zambia is to qualify to the AFCON. Speaking during a media briefing in Lusaka today, Grant observes that Ivory Coast is a strong team and needs the team to work extra hard. He, however, notes that Zambia has the capacity to qualify to the AFCON as it only needs 1 point to do so. He says one of his targets is to ensure that he wins the games and qualify the team to AFCON. He says he is confident that Zambia will get the much-needed point to qualify for the AFCON.
1 point. We play again a very, very good opponent. I saw them by the videos. Very good. They play also one player in Barcelona, one player there. But as I said, one of my targets here is to be a team that will be hard to beat. And we showed them against Lesotho. Even Ivory Coast is better than them, but Lesotho is a very hard opponent. And we want to continue with this. We hope to get the 1 point. We will play to win. But the other target is to be an African, no matter how. So, of course, everybody can say whatever he wants. It doesn't matter. Many people say good things, many. I didn't face criticism, but it's part of the game. We need to know. I need to do my job. I think the team play well. I think if I compare to before, they play as a team better than any other games before. And they will play better in the next game. We will improve every game. We started some process, and I was happy from this. Of course, there's any game I'm looking, any game, it doesn't matter if we win or lose, I'm looking for points, how can I improve the team? And we can improve, but there was a lot of good things, especially compared to what was before.
And finally, in our sports news, Chess Federation of Zambia President Leslie Chikuse says the federation has engaged the Ministry of Education to see how chess can be made a compulsory activity in schools. Addressing the media Monday, Mr. Chikuse says the federation is advocating for this to be done in schools as the sport provokes critical thinking and helps children to develop problem-solving skills. Meanwhile, an international chess coach, Uwe Schneider, says a seminar to be held in June 2023 has been organized where teachers will be taught on the importance of promoting chess in schools. The duo were speaking at a press briefing that was jointly held by the International Media Association for Peace, the Universal Peace Federation, and the Sunrise Africa Relief.
Zambia is giving free education to children from grade 8 to grade 12. So the game of chess becomes very handy because it is possible that every youth, everyone can learn the game of chess because of the government's program of free education. Apart from that, the Ministry of Sport have gone a step further to give tax rebates to people that are promoting the game of chess and sponsoring the game of chess. That's how the government is so much committed to sport and also to chess.
This project is designed to help Zambia and to help Zambian children. So this coming weekend we will have a seminar in this place where teachers will be educated in the progress of actually teaching children correctly, the method of teaching. And so I'll be using the Stephen method and other methods to inspire teachers to use this in school, so that we can improve it also in Zambia, the schooling system. And you will see, and I can promise you this, if in a school once a week chess is taught, the children will do better.
On that note, we come to the end of the main news this evening, but before we go, let's look at some of the top stories once again. Abductors of 13 women plead guilty. AntiCorruption Commission sheds light on alleged misappropriated 65 million kwacha. Government urged to engage independent auditors to review CDF performance. In international headlines, Ivorian citizens lead fight against plastic pollution. And in sports, CHIPOLOPOLO coach AVRAM grant calls for commitment among players. We now look at the Camnet verse for today, coming from Job verse 19 to 25. It reads, I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand on the earth. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the entire production and news crew, my name is Louisia Nalupumbwe. Bye for now. God bless and enjoy the rest of our programmings on Camnet TV. Good night.